Yo, 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 welcome to the Four Collectors. Four Collectors. This is the live, and today it's kind of impromptu. I couldn't find someone to come on in time today. So I'm just gonna wing it and see what happens. See if anybody joins, see if anybody wants to join the chat. And let's just card flicks and chill, man. We'll just talk cards, talk about the hobby. All right, so I'm gonna have a sip of my lemonade. How do you guys like that? Bottle opener right there. Got my Cowboys koozie for my lemonade. Lemonade. Fresh lemonade. No Chick-fil-A sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce? All right, so let's. Okay, we got vintage goats on here already. Hey Caesar, can't make the stream, man. All right, man. Thanks a lot for letting me know, coming on real quick and being the first comment. So if anybody wants to join, feel free to join, man. I put the link up top, and hopefully somebody joins because it's supposed to be a collaboration video. And sadly, this time I couldn't find anyone to get on. Such a loser. All right. So what's up, guys? Hopefully somebody gets on. This is pretty embarrassing when when you start a stream, there's nobody on yet, but nobody knew about this either. Didn't have any advertising, so let me just start showing some cards real quick. Anyways, just to talk about some cards real quick, just to let people know. I don't know if we're allowed to do this because this isn't my personal channel, but I am personally, that's what YouTube does. So just talking about YouTube, um, I'm getting close to 3,000 subs, so I'll be having a giveaway. And I think my theme is gonna be that's what I was thinking of, giving away a 50s card, a 60s card, a 70s, and an 80s, and a 90s card away. I don't know what everybody thinks about that. So yeah, just like that, like a fart in the wind, all my viewers are gone right now. There's nobody watching this live. All right, but look at this fresh Mickey Mantle, graded a 4. I think I bought this for like 160 or maybe close to 200. I think it was like 160 though on layaway. Such a long time ago, and it's crazy because this wasn't exactly one of my target cards, but at the same place that I would keep going all the time looking for cards. A lot of times the cards would rarely change until they picked something up or bought a collection. And the first time I saw this, I wasn't after any Bowman cards, but how could you pass it? Mini Mantle, 54 Bowman. He didn't have a 54 top because they had licensing disputes between a lot of the players with the contracts and stuff. But somebody please join me. I'm sinking here. Yes, I didn't know what to talk about. Check out this the Shohei Ohtani bobblehead when they were giving this away at Dodger Stadium. Traffic was horrible getting into work, and I was like 3 hours early, and everybody was there to get in line because it was to the first 40,000. But at the time, what I didn't know is that there was a gray uniform parallel. So if you got the gray uniform one, I think was numbered to like 1,500. Those are more valuable just because they're rare. And as soon as the game started, right away you were seeing these online. The gray ones for like 300, and by the next day they were like close to $2,000 just for this give free stadium giveaway. So what's up, guys? Who else is on here? I see that there's 4 viewers. Woo! I made it. I'm big now. Another bobblehead that I have is this Mickey Mantle. with the triple crown, holding 3 bats, holding the crown, wearing the crown on his head. That one's pretty sweet. So here we are, guys. Open to any type of conversation, whatever you want to talk about, even if it's just drama in the hobby, opinions on people, opinions on cards, opinions on players, uh, opinions on politics. No, not really. Do not want to get into politics. All right. So obviously this is turning out to be a disaster, but uh, just so I could keep talking, because I need a guest, somebody to come on and join me. Why don't you join me? Uh, I've been seeing a lot of videos on giving tips, so I made my own today on my own channel. Made a video about tips for the national. Anybody here going to the national? Oh well, there's nobody on here, so how can anybody else here go to the national? But I put a decent effort, man. I think that's one of the most effort videos I've done in a long time, actually. It was pretty cool, you know, no editing. So we got Unicorn Cupcake in here. You're up against Sammy Thunder and Sports Card Radio at the moment. Oh, am I? So everybody's there watching. Okay, I understand that. That's cool. No hard feelings. I'll just keep trying to talk for as long as I could, and hopefully one of those ends and mine can start. We'll see, man. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, man. Just here to talk baseball cards, and you know what? Let me bust out Beckett magazine. So this is Beckett magazine from September 1988. What do you guys think Beckett valued a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle in 1988? 2 outs away from a sweep. I say, yeah, we're the Dodgers are like really, really, really bad right now. Really bad. But yeah, it's incredible. They have like 6 of the greatest pitchers in Major League Baseball right now and they're all hurt. You know, I don't understand that, how this pitch count stuff and game management, but everybody seems to get hurt more than before. It just doesn't make sense to me how the evidence is that it's worse, but the doctors keep telling you, no, this is what's best. But yet everybody's arms are falling off, just like in Dumb and Dumber. Our pet's heads are falling off when his parrot's head fell off. So I'm looking for the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle number 311. See what it was worth in 1958. This is what I say. Like, you see it in the magazines all the time because it's always like the cover. So that 52 Topps, it's something that was just fed to me every day, just thrown in my face. Yeah, and I have that Gil Hodges right there. Number 311. Mickey Mantle, New York, first Topps card. Okay, so you see it listed right there. The 1952 Topps. It's listed as the first Topps card. Not necessarily, doesn't say rookie. And it was worth, where is it at? It was worth $6,500 in mint condition back then. Check out those starting lineups. Sicko. All right. Let's see what else we can look into there. My guess is 1,100 on the man. Oh no, 6,500. But still, I always prefer tough stuff. Tough stuff. Let me see if I have any tough stuff laying around. Like this. I had it all, man. And you know, these are some that I keep in. This is my 1958 Topps, and I do that so you could keep the binder level, so I won't jack up the cards. So that's why I have those 2 magazines. But those are 2 tough stuff magazines in there. All right. Game over. I said, yeah, man, the Dodgers are doing really, really bad right now. You know, I'm just glad it's not postseason time. Hopefully they flip it around. But there's no doubt in my mind we'll bounce back. I mean, Mookie's been hurt. and stuff like that. So we'll see. Beckett inside artwork is quite overlooked by most people. I always enjoyed them. Yeah, man, everything about Beckett. That's the whole thing. Is like this card right here. The whole thing about Beckett is I don't think I ever really bought it to look at the prices. I always bought it to look for the card shows. That's why the main reason I bought Beckett was to look up at the card shows. They always had a calendar and all the card shows. So this is 1988. Let's see what the card shows looked in California. All right. The Deadly Beanball. Always had great articles, Always, if you want to, it's basically like all the influencers on Instagram and YouTube and whatever, TikTok now, but in one, instead of seeing the same article and 100 different channels. All right, but okay, where's California? So you see, like, it'll be all the card shows in California set in the, look at that in a week. How many card shows? Look at all these. This whole thing is all this is card shows. I mean, the number I kind of trip out when I hear people right now like there's a lot of card shows. I was like, not like before. Before there was like hundreds and hundreds of them a month. But yeah, man. Starting lineup with the cards right there. I collect a lot of the starting lineups of the cards. Did I put them back up? Just to show you guys. This is the Barry Bonds, the starting lineup card. Sometimes it came with coins. Like this Don Mattingly also came with the coin. Pretty sweet. Look how yellow it is. It's hulked. That plastic has hulked just like other stuff does. Always thought it was weird that they would have the same player on the hot list and on the cold list at the same time. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I remember seeing that a lot with Bo Jackson and Jose Canseco. So I don't know if they counted multiple personalities, counting the baseball side as being hot, and then how they're dealing with the media or the fans or some kind of controversy. Maybe that put them in the cold. Like I have no idea, man. But yeah, that was always weird. Like when you're on the hot and the cold list, it's kind of like I can't show that. It's a kid channel. But yeah, I love me some Beckett. I got like 2 boxes full of Beckett magazines. And see, just so I'm not lying, I say that all the time. The 1956 Mickey Mantle, see it in every magazine. It was just saw it so much as a kid that it just became a card that I wanted so much. So look, it talks about miscuts, the mirror image, miscuts. So I don't think people understand or they can comprehend when you say that. I say that a lot. Like, well, Beckett was my influencer. You see, like right there, the proof. They showcase miscut cards. They showcase like the errors, the 56 Mantle, the 52 Mantle, and that's what I grew up wanting, man. I got influenced by Beckett more than anybody else, really, when it comes down to it. Ain't nothing to it. Yeah, so I'm dying here for my room being so hot, and I'm dying here that nobody wants to watch my content because it happens when you don't advertise. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Show you guys cool little Orioles locker magnet, Cal Ripken Jr. So What's up, Warren? A card is worth $5 and coming up. So, guys, this is supposed to be a collaboration, and unfortunately, I couldn't get any people on. The people that probably could have got on at the end, last minute, said they couldn't get on. So I need people to come on and talk to me, man. This is supposed to be a collab video. I don't know, come up with Egg, Warren. If any guys want to come on, the first comment on here should be the link. So I think you can just click the link. You should have your care package by Monday or Tuesday, homie. All right. And come up with Egg. You know, I've been showing my card quite a bit, my Pedro Guerrero that I cut. And he says he has this card uncut. You know, I got the Jewish circumcised version, and he's got the Catholic uncircumcised version. And he's gonna send it to me, so I'm looking forward to that if it's in there. Don't sack the C word. That's not content. Man, I'm burning up in here in my room. I'm sweating, and then my blinds, my cats tore up my blinds trying to escape. So now I just got like direct sunlight coming into my room all the time, you know, all over my cards, all over my sneakers. What's up, Filmington? Yeah, I'm dying here. So anybody wants to come on, go ahead and go on, but I don't care. Yeah, I'm drinking a nice cold lemonade. But yeah, today, man, felt like I got to my old self and got some pelotas and did a video on my channel, which I probably could not put on this channel, but it's tips for the National. Does anybody else have any tips for the National that you guys want to add here? What are your tips for the National? Everybody, it's funny because every year people do those tips to the National videos, and every year people put videos like, I don't want to hear another National video. Like, I don't know, people get sick of them. So what's up, man? Oh, I got a guess here. Oh,
what's up, Pepino?
Not much, just chilling here in the heat. Oh, what a great shirt you got there.
I wore this for you.
Nice.
Great video you put out. Best
Oh,
tips
do you like
video ever.
my tips video?
Best tips video ever.
We got Warren wanting to join here.
Warren,
what's up, guys?
how you doing?
Doing all right. I saw Pepino had a small amount of people.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to do this yesterday. It was scheduled for yesterday, and I couldn't do it, so I thought I was going to do it today. And I had a couple people lined up, and then last minute they backed out. So, oh well, it happens, no big deal. But the show's got to go on.
Yeah, man. I my phone. I must have missed your text.
No, I didn't. I didn't text you.
I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't though. But yeah, man, because I had some guys already lined up, and so I was sitting on them, and so I just said, oh well, I'm just gonna go on here. But I did have enough time today to make that 10 tips video. For some reason on my feed, when I was driving home, it popped out on my feed on my phone when I was driving home and just listening to YouTube videos, and like 3 in a row came out, like, you know, tips for the National.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna make one, man. So did you see it, Warren? Have you seen my video yet? The 10 tips for the National.
Oh, it's in my queue, man. Trust me, I'm trying to catch up. We the wife and I just spent the whole week basically remodeling our kitchen.
Oh, really? That's a big project, man.
Oh yeah, it's been quite nice, and we did all the work, so we had a few snafus, but no big deal. Now I'm sitting here watching TV, drinking a beer. So
nice.
I figured
Are you going to the National?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
I will be there. I hope to see as many folks as I can see. It's the
John,
idea.
who all is staying with you? Who is it? All the Misfits, the same as before?
Yeah, so we have well, everybody but James, because James is he has a booth with another guy, so he's staying at the hotel nearby. Um, but we have a house. It's Scott Reindeer Studios, Dylan Double D, Mike Sticks and Seams, Jason Mr. Fisher Bike, George Diamond Yard Sports Cards, Rick Vintage Oddball Cards, Lou Rock. Oh, who
That's a
else?
all-star list right there.
I'm missing somebody.
Rick, did you say you said
Oh,
all about
Derek
cards, right?
from Hardball Crazy.
Yeah, I like his videos, man. His stuff, he gets deep. Most of the videos, he goes deep into the player.
He knows baseball, man, and he knows all the up and coming players, all the young players. Yeah, he knows his baseball for sure.
For sure.
Weren't you a major league
Oh,
scout, Warren?
I miss Don, Field of Dreams. Who else? I'm sure I forgot other people. There's a bunch of us.
How big is the house?
We have there. It has 13 beds.
Wow.
Giant backyard.
Nice. Sweet.
So what time do you guys like plan on going to the national show, like to actually start shopping for cards in the morning? Like just gonna take your time, or are you gonna try to be there early?
Well, Lou Rock is flying here, and I'm gonna pick him up at the airport. We're gonna hang out here. He's gonna sleep here, and then we're gonna get up in the morning and we're gonna start driving. So I'm in South Carolina. He's flying up from Florida, and we're gonna go up through Charlotte and Greensboro and start to hit some card shops along the way. Whatever we find, we've already found one we're gonna stop at, and we're just taking a road trip. We were gonna go up to Pittsburgh first, and then over because he wanted to hit the Clemente Museum. And
Yeah.
they have such limited hours. It would for our trip before or after, we would essentially have to go there at 2 o'clock on Wednesday and then just shoot over to the show, and it just became too much. So we decided to skip that part of it. Plus, it adds a good bit of drive time as well. Have to overnight there. So we're just going to drive straight to the show. Probably check into our house, unload, and then hit the show, man.
What about you, Warren? How are you getting there? Where are you staying and all that?
I live about 17 minutes from the IX Center.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and I work 30 minutes from my house, and it's basically halfway in between work. I ran out of PTO, so I have to work, but I'll be there, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll stay until whenever. My wife's already prepared. She knew I've been planning for this for a while. I got my VIP pass and all that, so I'm good to go. And just looking to have some fun, spend some money, of course. I have a nice little chunk of change I've saved up. So
that first night
nice.
on
That's always
Wednesday,
important.
Have you been there before?
Yes.
Okay, that first night on Wednesday is fun. Like last year, I can't remember doing it on for Atlantic City, but last year Rick and I stayed together. The rest of the Misfits didn't go. So anyway, we went and Wednesday night, and it was nice because everybody was set up, but there wasn't a lot of traffic. I found a great card like right off the himha, and very relaxing that night. And then the next morning, like first thing, Rick and I went, and we got like I had some cards. He had some cards he wanted graded, and so he submitted, and I took some cards I wanted re-slabbed, like I had issues with the slabs or whatever. So we went in that morning, and we got the quick service where you get the cards back while you're still there, and that was nice because, man, I think it was the next morning he got an email. His cards were ready, and he went and picked them up. And I had an issue where I had somebody help me, and I told him I wanted the same day service, but they didn't put me in for that. And when I was checking, like he got his, but I wasn't getting mine. My notification, and I found out that it went in wrong. It went in for them to mail it back to me, like in a week or something. So I got a manager, and I explained it to him, and he tracked my stuff down and made sure, I paid the difference and made sure I got my cards back. That was with SGC, and their customer service was fantastic. I can't say enough about it. They took care of me, so I got all my cards back in new slabs. So that was nice.
So right now, what's the price on slabbing right now? Like, what's SGC going at? PSA?
I have no idea because I don't grade. I just, I had a few cards that had bad slabs, basically, like a Colgan's chip Ty Cobb that was flopping around in a PSA baggie, and it drove me crazy. So I put it in a SGC holder, and I had another one that was slabbed like sideways, a Colgan's chip. So I had that re-slabbed. I only had a couple things. But, I hated to crack them out. I mean, you're talking Ty Cobb, Trish Speaker. They're graded. They're decently graded. So I just thought I'd re-slab them.
Good deal. I think SGC is still $15 a card. If you're doing, $15 a card, I think.
I guess that's not too bad.
If those were minor cards or not those kinds of cards, I would have just cracked them out.
So, I don't grade at all. I'm not really that crazy informed, but I always hear like the upcharge or this and that. So what basically is that? So if you send in 2 cards, you just send in 2 cards that are both going to get 10. And one is, like a 1988 common card, and one is Derek Jeter rookie. But they're both getting the exact same service, the exact same flip, everything.
No, I mean,
are there different prices on that?
I don't know that much about grading, and Warren might know better, but you're not going to get upcharged. If you're putting on there what the value is, you're not going to get upcharged for that. I think it's when somebody's surprised and they get a 10 and the value goes up $30,000 or something.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What makes it go up that much? What's the upcharge come from? The value of the card itself?
They say it's insurance, but it's still in the same plastic, the same slab.
Oh, it's
because I was personally thinking of opening up a PSA style car wash then, right? So if somebody comes in a Pinto, for them it's $5, but if somebody comes in a Ferrari, it's $100. You're gonna say, hey, are you using a different soap? Nope, same soap. You're using different water? Nope, same water. Doesn't matter. Yeah. That's kind of messed up. I'm gonna make a video of that now.
I say the same thing. It's like if you have a tire on your car, you get the number off of it, and you call and you say, hey, I need 4 of these specific tires, and they say okay, and they're going to be $300. Then when you get there, they're like, oh, well, I didn't know you were driving a Mercedes. Now it's going to be $600.
Yeah, right.
It's like absurd.
Yeah, I never understood that whole thing, but hey, I have to show a card because I'm so happy, and you guys, I know both of you guys will love this card too because it's I just have to show it. I'm back in the pre-war market.
Oh, nice.
I picked up this T206 Bill Bradley. One got some creases. I don't care. Beautiful. I love the centering's pretty nice, but here's what it wasn't in the ad. It's got the polar bear back.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
I was like, woohoo! I got for him good price, and I was like, I'm back.
You should have them grade it the other way, so the polar bear's on the front.
Right.
I mean, but the guy didn't even have polar bear in his listing. I'm looking at it, I said, that's got the polar bear. I said, I made him an offer. He said, no, I got to get this for it. I'm like, I know it's worth what I paid for it. It's not that big a deal because I'm like, that's a polar bear back. I'm like, I have to get it. And it's Cleveland. So I'm like, Bill Bradley. So I'm really happy. I couldn't wait. I don't want.
Congratulations.
My very first car that I had from that was a polar bear, but look at that. It actually has like looks like a polar bear took a chunk out of the back.
Yeah.
But it's a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Who is it?
McKillen? Oh no, it's Philadelphia. I just saw the
Never heard of them.
Awesome.
You think you think you've heard of every Pirates player?
Yes.
Like, yeah, like if I could look up.
Most of them. I'll tell you what. Aside from maybe around like the early '50s when they had like the worst team ever assembled, and a bunch of no names on that team. But if you go back to 1909 when those were made, I probably do. I mean, they won the World Series that year.
Yeah, so Warren obviously he's a big Cleveland fan. You know what? And I thought that Eddie Murray poster that I had, I thought it was sponsored by Cleveland, but it's actually Fila. But I believe he's like in the Cleveland uniform, you know. But it's a sweet Eddie Murray for president.
I'm looking for one. I haven't seen one yet, and maybe I'll find one at the National. You never know, since it's Cleveland. But they're my jam.
Yeah,
I do love the Pirates, especially like the '60 Pirates, the We Are Family Pirates.
Well, those are two different Pirates. Is it?
Oh,
like the '60 and the We Are Family?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some about the We Are Family with, just Pop, Stargell, and those guys, just Parker, and I just my whole family's from Pittsburgh, except for me. I was born in South Carolina. I'm from Spartanburg, John.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I still have family down there, but I've been up here long enough, so I don't have the accent,
Yeah.
I go down there for a week.
Through Spartanburg. That's about it.
There's
drive
a
through there
Pittsburgh accent?
to go west.
What's that?
There's a Pittsburgh accent?
No, but I can do the downtown and Gins and.
There's a Pittsburgh accent for sure.
Yeah, I lived in Pittsburgh for a couple years.
When I was
going,
what it sounds like, just watch my man Theo.
Oh yeah.
I'm always busted his chops with Pittsburghese.
Oh yeah.
Yins guys want to go downtown? We have certain words we say, like around the country. Most people call soda. We call it pop.
Pop.
Mm-hmm.
And like most people say rubber bands. We call them gum bands.
Gum bands.
And
yeah.
Most people say submarine sandwiches, but we call them hoagies.
Hoagies.
Yeah.
What do you call bologna?
You got everything all wrong.
Do you call bologna jumbo?
No, we call it bologna.
Okay.
Even though it's spelled bologna.
But my grandmother, because she lived there for many years, she always called it jumbo. I'm like, what the hell is that? What is that? She goes,
really? I never heard that. But jumbo bologna is was that a brand or
it may
a larger cut?
That may have been.
I've heard of jumbo bologna, but we never called it just jumbo.
Okay, well, maybe that was just
funny. When you see when there are two names like Mercedes Benz, like back when I was growing up, it was kind of cooler to say Benz. He drives Benz, and then they just lost that Benz over the years. But most people said Mercedes. So sometimes like soda pop, it was called soda pop. For whatever reason, in Western Pennsylvania, they adopted the pop, and everybody else adopted the soda.
I mean, there's so many different reasons. This fun time. You mentioned Theo, and his accent. He emailed me last week. He sent me a screenshot of this card. He goes, I saw this, and it made me think of you. I think you should go after it. So I got to show another card. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Beautiful.
That's what we do, man.
54 Redman, Bobby Avila.
Fantastic.
The gorgeous 2.5. I'm like, how the hell is that a 2.5? I don't care. It looks great slabbed in the STC slab, though. The black
they do look nice in those slabs. Yeah. They do.
Mm-hmm.
I got a rare card in. I'll show you. 1930 Bagger Chocolate. It's a Cuban issue, tiny little card, but they're very scarce. I think this is a SGC graded one, but I don't know what their pop is, but I think PSA has only ever graded 3 of them. Eddie Collins.
Holy cow. Wow, that's cool. I've never
Yeah, they came in chocolates in Cuba.
In
Holy
Cuba,
smokes.
huh?
That's
So
great,
Ricky
man.
Ricardo could have pulled that.
Yeah, he could have.
Yeah, I've been on
He
a
was a little
buying
kid in
spree.
1930.
That's beautiful.
It's a nice one. It's a nice example.
I keep saying I
It's
gotta save
amazes
money
me
for.
these things lasted. I mean, they're so tiny.
Oh yeah. Is that thin? Is that thin stock as well? Thin paper stock or
You
card
know
stock?
what? I have to be honest with you, and that's the problem with grading these days is I don't know because
Yeah.
I have a Lefty Grove and I have this one, but I've never touched one because they come in these slabs.
Gotcha.
Because I know what most sets feel like, and it's interesting because you know a lot of times they have very unique cardstock. You know, sometimes they're extra thin, and you don't know that. You don't realize that till you touch one.
Yeah.
It's like
But also,
the T213 coupons. They look just like not just like there's subtle difference, but they look like the T206s, but they're
Okay.
way thinner. So if you touch, you know, that compared to the T206, no comparison. You know right away it's not a T206, you know?
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Cool.
And most cards taste different, you know.
Yeah.
I could tell by tasting the card normally what year it was, what kind of wood would use in that cardboard and stuff. Uh
Well, it's just like I always point to the 1950 Drakes. Those came in two different types of cookies or
Hmm.
cakes. And there's one was an oatmeal. And those ones, I suspect it's that one and not the other one. But if you smell the back of a 1950 Drake's, I mean, you could still smell the cake there, or the
Oh, no
cookie,
kidding.
whatever it was. Yeah, cake. You could
Check
still
that.
smell it. I swear to God.
I believe you. It's crazy how that can happen, but
Like half
especially
of them
over.
smell and half of them, some of them don't. And so I think that it was one of the cakes. You know, maybe the other cake was more subtle or whatever the ingredients were for one. And I think it's the oatmeal because that's what it smells like to me.
Beautiful.
Mike Wesker Griff's asking how much White Castle did I eat at the 2000 National? I ate a lot. At the 2019 National, I was staying with JMVP. He lives in the Chicago area. And on his way home every night, we stop at White Castle, and they would have like these giant boxes, like a suitcase. You know, I had never seen that before because there's no White Castles around here. I've always heard it only from the Beastie Boys music, but that
Yeah.
was the first time I ever really experienced it,
That's
and
the
it was
first
pretty
thing I
cool. It was
think
pretty
of.
amazing buying like a suitcase, walking out with a big old box.
That's the first thing I think of when I hear White Castle is the Beastie Boys. Did you ever eat at a Crystal Burger?
No.
No,
So they're similar and they have the little sizes. I don't know if they're still around. The one that was near me closed, but they're like I don't know. The color of the hamburger is more like ham. They're like a reddish, really weird.
Okay.
If you're out drinking and it's late at night, you go get a big bag of 26 of them or whatever and just demolish them. And they taste so great. But if you have them when you're not drinking, they're awful. You know, it's a totally different experience.
you know
They
that
used to
that
be
that
little white
that's one of
sausages too.
the things I enjoy about the Nationals is getting together with groups and people that have cars and going to eat places that you've never gone. You know, whatever's in that
Yeah.
area that's cool. You know, that's awesome, man. Get to experience that because you do go to the National and you know, with especially with me, my main focus is cards. I'm going there for the cards first, but I mean, everything that comes with it, the people, the going out to eat to restaurants, drinking with other guys. I mean, that's what makes the National so awesome. You
Yeah,
know, there's so
for
much that goes
sure.
along with just a show.
Yeah, you know, Pepino, I mean, you're old enough to remember when you used to travel state to state, you always had unique things, right?
Yeah,
Like I
everything
remember
was a
going
lot of
down
local
south
stuff.
for the first time and experiencing sweet tea and experiencing biscuits and gravy. And you just couldn't find that in the north where I grew up, you know. So when you would go to different places, there's different specialties and stuff. That's just gone away now. No matter where you go, everybody's lined up at the Olive Garden, or you get your coffee at Starbucks. Like when I lived in Miami, I used to go for the Cuban coffee. Man, I love that stuff. And you know, everybody's lined up at Starbucks. And I'm trying to
Yeah,
find the Cuban coffee, and even though Cuban coffee is so popular there. Starbucks, you can't get one at a Starbucks or any of the chains like that, which I always thought they should adapt, right, and have the local
Yeah.
flair. But you can't go too many places and get the Cuban coffee or the Cuban toast. There's some things that are really unique to Miami, and that's still around. But for the most part, if I dropped you off in any little town across America, you're going to have the same restaurants. You're going to have the same fast food restaurants. You're going to have the same stores, right? There's going to be a Starbucks, a Walmart, a McDonald's, a Denny's, whatever.
Yeah, the
that used to be
chain,
the fun
the
part of travel.
monopolies, man, are crazy out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What'd you say?
No, I said, oh yeah, for sure. I think.
No, what did Pepino say?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I forgot.
What did he say when you said I'm sure?
I
What did you
froze
say
up.
I'm sure about?
I thought I saw Theo come in here right now and he left.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, so
bring him back.
what's in Cleveland? What specialty places is there in Cleveland? Or for the most part now, are you guys going back to Airbnb?
So I haven't been to Cleveland in a long time, but and Warren can tell you what's there, but I can tell you from my experience years ago, Cleveland was awesome, man, to go hang out at the flats. And they had put in a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They put in the first ESPN Center, which they later closed. Back in the day, I used to love it there. And this Warren, the Stouffer Hotel, I don't know what it is now, but they used to have an unbelievable Sunday brunch.
Oh yeah,
And it was just a classic old hotel. And they had that tunnel. It was attached to an underground mall.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to love to go there.
Yeah. A lot of that.
Do you know what that's called now?
I've always wanted to go to Cleveland. I wish I could have gone. I've always been a big fan since the Drew Carey show. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
It was only
Ohio.
from where I live. So my friends and I, one time, we wanted to go see Ken Griffey Jr. play, and it was back before interleague play, of course. So we went down to Cleveland, took a road trip so we could see Ken Griffey Jr. play.
Yeah, it was.
And they had what was that? What was the stadium called? The Mistake on the Lake.
Yeah, that was Municipal Stadium.
Municipal.
Yep.
Was that where they played football too?
Yeah, they did both. That stadium would hold almost 80,000.
Yeah, the Mistake.
Wow,
on
that's
the
a
lake.
big boy.
They had that lake effect for football, and that field would just freeze and the cold wind, and it was like treasuresome to play on there. My cousin was talking. He was getting Franco's signature one day, and he was saying that was the worst stadium. He hated playing in that stadium. It was the hardest stadium for him to run in.
Yeah, it was.
I had an ex-girlfriend that I called the Mistake by the Lake.
No, this town's great. There's a lot to do. It's not as convenient like Chicago and Rosemont, that whole area, because you can walk to everywhere. There's a lot of good stuff that's not far away that you can enjoy. Now, I've been to a couple nationals at Cleveland, but they finally removed this Ferris wheel that was in the middle of the venue, and it's gone. So there's a more of an open floor plan. So I'm kind of excited to see how everything's going to flow. I think personally, I think Cleveland has the best floor plan. It's a little more spatial. I haven't seen the floor plan for this year's national as of yet. I know it's out there. I just too lazy to go look.
The floor plan?
What's that?
What'd you say? The foreplay for the national?
Floor plan.
Oh, the floor plan.
Hey, Warren, do they have two different convention centers there?
The Ag Center is it's one big gigantic building, but they have a Huntington Convention Center that's more downtown Cleveland that I'm aware of.
Oh, that's the one. Because I went to a convention there years ago, and I knew it was near downtown, and that's where I thought this was, because it's really huge. But then I was hearing that it wasn't near downtown; it was in the outskirts. So I was a little confused. So there are two.
Yes.
Okay.
The IX Center used to be they used to build tanks and stuff for the war and bombers, I believe, and all of that right there. Pretty cool.
Hey, Pepino, I got a baseball trivia for you.
All right, let's go.
Okay, this is a 1952 Mothers, Al Benton.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a better look at him here. Here's a press photo. Al Benton.
Uh-huh.
What's he the only player in baseball history to do?
I think he's the only guy that ever pitched against Ruth and Mickey Mantle.
That's right. Good job.
Wow. Fantastic.
I haven't heard that in a while. No, I haven't heard that in a while. I remember like when I heard that fact and it stuck in my head for a long time. And that just kind of clicked it. Like, I don't think I would have mentioned that again or remembered.
There was only one other pitcher who played long enough to have done it, but he played in like the opposite league. And
that's never going to happen back then.
Yeah, he didn't face him, but he played at that time. But this is the only guy to face them both. That's a hell of a long stretch to face both of them.
We got Captain Woke. He's asking if any of us are Wander Franco investors.
No.
Oh, the Wander Franco jokes never end, man.
No.
I don't even think about him anymore. I
fell for the FOMO, man. I fell for the FOMO because I kept getting so many people always asking me, hey, well, how many, what Wander Franco? And I had none. I was like, I don't have any. I got like comments that I pulled from packs, but I've never bought like a single Wander Franco. And then people kept bugging me like, telling me, you need to buy one. This guy's the next big thing. And I ended up, I gave in and I bought one just so I could say I have one, but it's really the only one I got, but it wasn't that bad. It's a Wander Franco auto. But so just to be honest with Captain Woke, I fell for the FOMO. I think that's the only time I ever really have. And I gave in and I bought it. But this was cheap. I got it for like $60. So it was a really great price at the time. So I ended up getting that.
I bought several of his rookie cards, but they were cheap when I was buying them. I'm talking a few bucks each. I ended up with a whole bunch of them now.
I think I have about.
Don't really want them now, but I have them.
Yeah, he just officially got charged, so that might be why he's saying it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he just officially got charged.
He did. So yeah, he'll be going to jail, I'm sure. So, but I don't know.
I mean, hang on to those cards. He might end up being like Ron LaFleur.
We got Hodges collector right here. Hodges 1455. Here's my Gil Hodges Bowman.
Hey Hodges.
Nice. I keep saying I have to save money for the National, but I've been buying cards at almost reckless abandon because I'm finding them for like great, stupid cheap.
They're so cheap now. If you stay, unless you're buying the big popular 100 cards. They're so cheap. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I can't pass up the prices. They're so cheap.
Yeah, that's what I hear everybody saying. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm buying cards," and I told myself I wasn't going to.
Yep. 50.
When you're a collector, it's hard to pass them up when they're so damn cheap.
Oh, I know. 52 Red Man.
And it makes sense if you're gonna go look for that card that you're coming across to buy at the National. Well, you could buy it cheaper right now than at the National. It makes sense,
Yeah.
Woo, look at that. I have. Let me see if I can't see it up here. I don't know where.
I bought this card for $9. You can't even grade it for that.
No, that's crazy.
You can't even grade it for that. But leader's card with my man Matty Alou, and you had what's cool is he's on there with his brother Philippe, and then Rico Cardi.
That's a great card. I love those leader cards. I love them.
I do too.
They're fun.
You get 3 great players for the price of 1.
Exactly. Ooh, yeah, nice rookie.
Yeah, this is actually my 3rd copy that I've ever owned. I had one that was graded, and I gave it away, kind of traded it, and I bought this one to put on my spine. But I have the Gary Carter rookie 75, so I'm not sure. I'm thinking I'm just probably gonna end up giving this one away for my 3,000 subs because I'm reaching 3,000 subs, so I'll probably give that one away.
Wait, that's a copy? You didn't want to buy the real one?
No, it's a real one.
Oh, you said it was a copy.
No. I had this one graded in a slab, But
I'm
I
just
have
messing
the
with you. You
75.
said you had 3 copies.
Yeah, I had 3 copies and I gave one away. One is in my binder, and then I have this one in a top loader.
Hey guys, I got one more
It was a
card.
bad
You guys
joke.
feel.
It was a
What's
bad
that?
joke.
Yeah.
I guess
Hey,
I didn't get it right now.
did you ever see the package that Burke Ross cards came in?
Bob Ross, the painter, sent you a package?
Burke Ross. Although I used to get wrapped up in watching Bob Ross.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you had posted that on Facebook, and I saw it, and I asked the question because I never seen the package that they came in. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
so they came in 2s connected, and they would display here. You could see them through the windows, multi-sport cards. I don't know how many strips were in here. If it was just one,
Yeah, I'm sure those can't be
I
that
don't
easy
know.
to. Those
This
kind of.
thing is this thing's amazing. I've only ever seen pictures of it, so I had to grab one. I love to get the packaging, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a great piece. I have one more card, guys, and then I have to go because I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna. So
Why would you do that to yourself?
I have to go to work. I go to work early anyway. So I've wanted one of these for a very long time. 1996 Topps Finest Gold Refractor Albert Bell.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful card, refractor. I think the
How long have you been addicted to cards?
What's that?
How long have you been addicted to cards?
Got my first pack of cards in 1983.
Have you been addicted nonstop?
No, I actually got out of the high. I got married in 1997, and I kind of didn't do it for about 10 years, but I still had all my cards. And then I kind of got back into it. And of course, just like everything else, a lot of other folks, we had a lot of time during COVID, and then the addiction came right back to me. Just crazy. So
Yeah.
I did. I love cards, man. I just love looking at them, touching them. And when I got this T206, because once COVID hit, I sold all my pre-war stuff that I had because I panic sold because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I sold the stuff off that I knew would sell, and I get cash for it because we didn't know what was really going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So I panic sold a bunch of stuff, and I kick myself every day. I sold silks, blankets, triple fold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You might have sold those to me.
I sold oranges and corn on the side of the freeway trying to raise money during COVID. I was panicking. I didn't sell my cards though.
No. But I put a lot of my stuff in.
Yeah, man, no, for reals. I remember when COVID first started going down and there was that panic. I remember especially like, geez, Mikey, he was buying cards like crazy, because he had what were they called? What's it called? What were they called? Where you had to work like you were. Geez, I can't remember. You were needed.
I know what you're talking about. Workers.
Yeah. None of us. Huh?
Essential workers.
Yeah, you were. He was an essential, so he didn't stop working, and he was buying like vintage for like dirt cheap from all the panic sellers, But that only lasted like a couple of weeks. Once the stimulus checks came, boom, everything. Who could have predicted the stimulus checks? I didn't.
Yeah.
That gave the card community a big boost.
Well, I think the PPP money more so than.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's all the same. The poor people got 1,500, and the rich people could get whatever they wanted.
Well, people that had a card business or said they did, there was no. I don't know how that all went down. All I know is there were a lot of people that took it that shouldn't have, and they were supposed to go after them. Biden had made the announcement he was going after them, but then I never heard that they did. But you get on social media and there'd be these young guys with like Ferraris standing in front of them with their PPP money and stuff. But I suspect a lot of people under the guise of some sort of business, or maybe they had a business, used that money for that kind of thing, big and large investments.
Crazy.
This guy, Captain Woke, he's like a troublemaker. He's asking if we're buying into the rivalry between Reese and Caitlin Clark.
You know what?
Just
to me, it really cheapens the sport.
oh, it does. But just
It
by
really
chance,
cheapens it. It's a
just
bunch
by
of
chance, they gave me this at my card shop. Like I had bought some baseball cards, and this was just sitting on the counter, and I was just kind of curious, like, how much are you guys selling that card? And the guy looked at me for a while. He's all, "You want it?" If it's free, and he said, "Take it." All right. I was like, I don't think I would own one if it wasn't for the fact that I got this Angel Reese card for free.
Right. Well,
yeah,
guys,
I
hey,
understand she's doing well and breaking records and everything.
They both are.
I was interested in watching it, and then when all this started, I'm like, I don't even want any parts of that. I have enough. I try to stay away from drama in my life.
exactly. That's why I got out of the restaurant business. Hey, guys, I wish I could stay with you. I gotta go. I gotta go run. But hey, this is fun. I'm glad I jumped over Caesar and hopped on. And thanks for asking me to jump on. And John, it's always a pleasure.
Good chatting with you. Looking forward to meeting you at the National.
Yeah, same here. Looking forward to shaking hands. You guys take care. Be well. Bye.
All right. See ya.
Peace.
Hey, Pepino, I got this great 1952 Del Crandall. Do you know that I've never seen that card before or never noticed it? It's such a cool card.
That card itself, the Crandall?
Yeah, I don't know how I never really saw one before or noticed.
I still don't understand
I was at a card
how these
shop
old cars like the 52s and the 58s, how their colors still pop,
I know.
70 years later.
I know,
Because
it's
some of those
amazing.
reds, man, they pop so loud. Some of those yellows.
Well, maybe they're still printing them.
Yeah, I don't know if there's money in printing. Yeah, I guess there is money in printing the common.
Hey, go back to like the 1930s. Some of your the play balls. I have a Charlie Gehringer 41 play ball. Man, it is just, the colors are just so vibrant. Because if you hold like let's take the 41 play ball Jimmy Fox. If you hold 10 of them next to each other, you'll notice nuances in the color.
Yeah.
Some of them are real bright. Now, some of that, I don't know if that's necessarily fading or like, how Topps is. Sometimes the color comes out real dark. Like even if you look at a 1978 card, if you hold up 3 identical players, like 3 Dave Parkers, you'll see like one might be extra dark and one might be extra light, had to do with, I don't understand printing, but through all the years of buying cards, you notice that some are extra dark, some are extra light.
Well, that's the thing is, I worked at this place where we were printing on cardboard, where like we would actually make cardboard boxes, and you feed the ink into the printer, like just for whatever company it was going for. If it was Home Depot boxes, it has the orange. When you first put in a nice batch, it's a bright orange, and then when the ink starts running out, it just gets lighter and lighter, and then you're like, hey, we need to refill it. You refill it, and boom, you're back to bright yellow. So I mean, that had to happen in the regular card process too, right? Had to.
Yeah, that's something that kind of has always like driven me crazy when a card was too dark or too light.
Yeah, because there's such a variation. That Jimmy Fox, the color.
You'll be going through your set, and all of a sudden you come to one that's extra light, and it just
you see that a lot, like
off.
Especially in the backs of like the 69, and especially with Topps, there were some years where they made the cards in different shops in different parts of the country. So the ones that were coming out of this factory were a different tint than the ones that were coming out of this factory. You get that a lot in the back of the 69s. That's what you say, like in the 69s, you could tell which factory was printed on by how bright it was.
Is that right?
Yeah. But
it's like you always say, there's no such thing as doubles with vintage cards.
No, man. Every card is unique. Every card you'll see just a subtle difference.
I've seen cards where I have like 3 copies, and each one will have a fish eye, and the fish eye is in 3 different spots. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
or you have three of them and two of them have fish eyes, one doesn't. Um, yeah, it's what do you know what causes the fish eye?
Not really. I mean, it's got to be just some printing defect, I guess.
I never really thought about it.
Yeah, I have no
You know
idea.
what we need? Somebody needs to interview a printer that can explain all this stuff. That would be an interesting interview.
Right? Yeah.
It really would be. I never thought to do that before.
Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that now.
We're gonna have to find a printer that specifically did cards. I mean,
Huh.
I'm curious, like what causes that fish eye? Because
Yeah,
they
right. You
come
would
in,
think
they're never in the same exact spot.
yeah. I'm sure there's an explanation out there. There's probably a small line in some paragraph about cards that explains it. It's got to be a
It,
logical explanation, right? Without one, it'd be highly illogical.
oh, I'm sure it's probably a real simple. Somebody could answer that in a few words, but I just don't know what it is. Did you see this that I got?
Yeah, man. How do you just find most of your stuff online? Like, what? How do you start your searches online normally? Like, what do you type something, or you just it comes in your feed, or I don't know. I don't know how it
Yeah,
works.
so I have saved searches, and I have some that they alert me. But a lot of the stuff I find, that damn Rick from Vintage Oddball Cards is always sending me links, and he's going, "John, you need this," and I'm like, "I'm trying to save up for the national, but you need this." And I swear to God, I think he's trying to get me to spend all my money so I can't compete with him when we're at the national. I can't buy any cards so that he can get them. But I have saved searches, and I have some that will send me emails. So I get emails if somebody lists a certain thing that I'm looking for. But most of the time, like if I'm not looking for something specific, most of the time I either get it because somebody shared it with me, or because I stumbled on it by accident.
Yeah. So we got Captain Woke right here, the poking the bear, trying to start trouble. Do we think the car market will crash, will tank if Trump gets elected? I don't know why it would. Like I mean,
What would Trump
not
have
not
to do with it?
not yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Not talking, not trying
Did
to
it
talk
tank the
politics,
last
but
time
I'll
he
tell you just
was?
from my experience in life. I don't think I've ever seen like something tank or part of the nation just fall apart when we change presidents. Like I don't think that's how it
No,
works.
it's absurd.
Like
I
all of a
mean,
sudden, people are gonna stop
wasn't
buying cards.
didn't the boom happen when he was president?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why that would have anything to do with it. I think I think he's just busting our chops.
Well, he's Captain Woke.
Yeah. So does that mean you're woke, or does that mean you're making fun of woke? It could
I
go
think he
either
makes
way,
fun
right?
of Woke because he has a crazy like Captain America face. Yeah. So let me see.
Well, we need to know, because we need to know if he's offended when you put on your female wigs and boobs.
Right?
Yeah, all of a sudden that kind of stuff's offensive to some people. It used to be a joke.
Well, you know what, John? Like, say, around here in Southern California, one thing I've noticed. This is kind of getting off topic, but I'll just say this real quick.
That's all right.
A lot of the seafood restaurants, Mexican seafood restaurants, they all had like murals of under the sea and mermaids and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been watching them all disappear. And I'm like, I wonder if people come in here like, hey, that mermaid you could see, she's topless. I'm offended, and they're just slowly all disappearing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, they better not go to France to the beach then.
Well, that's how I tell
Germany.
my friend. My friend just came back from like Italy, Rome, or whatever. He traveled all over there, and he has a picture of the statue of David, the
Yeah.
actual one, like the real one at the museum. I was like, man, the cemetery right by my house, they had a statue of David out in the front, and when all the statue stuff was going on, they took that one out. I mean, just because he was naked, I don't think there was anything that he was racist or anything. They just took it down because all it takes is one person. I'll say I'm
What are you
offended.
talking about? These guys are naked in these parades. I
Oh, right?
just saw
Oh.
them a couple weeks ago. These little kids are standing there, and all these naked guys are coming by. So what's a statue? I was at the statue of
Yeah.
David.
Hey, John, you got
It
a
was really
question.
interesting to be there in person.
You got a question, John. Did you ever pick up a Canadian club autograph card yet?
A Canadian club.
Is that like football or
A
rugby?
Canadian club autograph? I don't understand. Canadian. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's the question. I don't know if you can see it from Old Style Classic baseball cards. It says, John, did you ever pick up a Canadian club autograph card yet?
Canadian. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a big autograph card. Like I'm not into autos that
He said
much.
it's a whiskey card.
Oh, there's a Canadian club.
Oh, the brand Canadian
The
club,
brand.
right? The bottle?
Wait, there's a. Did they make a card?
Yeah, that's what he said. That was the explanation to when you asked what's a Canadian club. He
Oh
said it's
man,
a
let me write
whiskey
that
card.
down. I got to go look for one of those now. Wait, is that somebody that did a response for Rick's video, and I'm just forgetting about it?
It's Old
It
Style Classics baseball cards.
I think he showed that. No, Canadian club. All right, I totally forgot. Man, there's so many cards out there, Pepino. When I went down this, focus of trying to get as many different sets, holy cow! I had no idea. I knew there were tons, but
It's
there's even more
amazing,
than
man.
I
I mean,
thought.
I live by curious through you. Um, just every time you show a video, oh, everything disappeared. I think my phone's overheating. But every time you show a video, man, and you show all these rare cards and so many stuff that I've never seen before, that's like, you know, I'm never gonna get to own them, but I'm glad I get to see them and hear about them. And it's wonderful that you have them because you tend to give us backstories or tell us about the car. You know, you're not just showing it. You know your stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if you seek those things out, you could have them. I mean, everybody's focused, like I always say, on the biggest 100 cards, and everybody's selling those to each other, and those are everybody's grail cards, and that's what everybody goes after, and they sell for thousands, tens of thousands. And then there's this whole other world. If you're a baseball fan and you know these more obscure players like Al Benton or whoever, and like this bagger chocolate, there's PSA graded 3. It's Eddie Collins. Those kinds of things. You get them for a fraction, a tiny fraction of what people are paying for, modern prospect rookie cards. It's just you gotta, seek them out, learn about them, and go look for them. But I think you'd be surprised how cheap a lot of them are. Because
Yeah,
let's face it, most people who are collecting cards today probably don't know a lot of these players. I don't know a lot of these players. Like I'll find out about them, then I'll go seek their cards, or I'll stumble on a card and say, "Oh, that's a rare set," right? Like if I know it's a rare set, but I don't know the player, and then I'll look up the player and I'll see, and then I'll learn something fascinating about that player, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, now I want it,"
yeah. Well,
and
see
it's like
that
a
that
hundred bucks or $80, and it turns out to be some player that did something good in baseball history or holds a
that
place.
that that's just the thing now. Baseball doesn't promote its history like it used to. You know, like when I was a kid, it seemed like I could watch a lot of stuff on TV talking about records from the past or players from the past. I think the last baseball thing to come out like that was that video set from what was that guy's name?
Ken
Burns.
Burns.
Yeah,
Ken
right. Like
Burns.
I think that was the last one. Like it was awesome. I watched it like 3 times, but I haven't watched it since, and nothing else has came out like that since. So
Yeah.
that was like the last thing I remember coming out actually talking about baseball history. And before that, I don't know how long, what else came out before that talking about baseball history.
Yeah, and I mean they don't hit on all the players. I mean there's so many so many players that did something fantastic in baseball that he didn't even cover. Like he didn't even scratch the surface on a lot of the stuff. But then there's a lot of other stuff he did cover that's just amazing, and I wouldn't know it if I didn't watch that. You know, um, So you can't cover everything, but you need to get bits and pieces here and there. I was looking for a card as an example. What did I do with that? I could swear that thing was just sitting here.
I heard HBO is making a Pete Rose miniseries.
Is that right?
That's what Wesker Griff said.
Oh, here it is. Like the 26 inning game that was pitched in 1920.
Yeah.
So
Isn't it amazing?
Somebody sent me a video. One of these players was on a show where you have to guess what the person does. Like you're blindfolded and you can ask them questions. And the one pitcher on here, I forget his name, was one of them. And then Johnny Vandermeer was the other one. And Ty Cobb was the other one. And they all had, held a record in baseball history.
I don't know if I should read this. Captain Woke. If you found out your favorite vintage card YouTuber was going down to a local karate dojo to challenge a 12-year-old, would that change your opinion of him? Oh, I think I know this story. I think I know what he's talking about.
Yes, it would.
But no. Okay, see, if that's the thing. If you read it like
as
that,
it's worded, unless
if you read it like that, I know. I think I know what story he's talking about. But apparently, there's a big card YouTuber, in the card community that was doing a video, and somebody was talking smack to him, and he said, "Hey, well, I'll fight you." And then the next day, you find out that guy was a 12-year-old. But he didn't know it was a 12-year-old at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the wording, with that wording, I would say yeah. And then if I look into the details, like, oh well, that's not exactly how it went down.
Well, that's one of those. In America today, we only see the headlines. Nobody seems to be able to think for themselves or delve past the headline to get the details. That's one of those things where details might matter.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You shouldn't be challenging anybody on YouTube to a fight in writing. That might be the dumbest thing you can do.
Yeah, there's
especially not a kid, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they were saying that those whiskey cards are 1955-ish.
1955?
Yeah. And Hodges said one of his most expensive cards in his collection is a Bob Friend card.
Oh, Bob Friend. I sat and hung out with Bob Friend one day. Gracious man. He holds the all-time strikeout mark for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he won the last game at the Polo Grounds.
Is he really friendly, or is that just a name?
No, super nice guy. I had a friend, and he was the head potentate at the Shriners in Pittsburgh. And he called me in one day because he knew I was a big baseball fan. And Bob Friend was on the board of the Shriners or something. And so it was just me and the potentate in his office. And in walks Bob Friend. And we just sat on the couch and shot the shit for a while. It was pretty fun. He didn't even know he threw the last game in the Polo Grounds. So I told him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But he was a really super nice guy. And I just found out that he's the all-time strikeout leader for the Pirates. I didn't know that. I knew he was a solid pitcher, had a nice long career, but a regular starter. But I didn't realize he had that record.
Well, that's the thing with baseball and team records sometimes. Like I remember when I first started the Dodgers, and they would always show on the screen like Dodger career leaders in this and Dodger career leaders in that, and I'd be like, those are kind of weak stats. But it's like, well, because they spent 5 years on the Dodgers, or they spent 8 years on the Dodgers. You're not talking. It's not like the old days where every year Mickey Mantle play was for the Yankees or Joe DiMaggio was for the,
Right.
It's not the same. So team records can sometimes be kind of like, deceiving.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you have a guy like Al Kaline who played his whole career, and then you have a guy that only played 5 years there but had an amazing 5 years, he could have been. I'm just saying, in theory, the guy that played 5 years could have been the best Tiger to ever play. But He's not going to hold any of the records because he played there a short period of time. So
Oh,
team
okay.
records, yeah. That's
99-cent
especially in
card says
today's
those.
game.
Yeah, it's totally different. Canadian clubs card said the I mean 99 cents card said that Canadian club cards were 95 through 96.
Oh, 90.
So they're more recent.
What were you saying, 55?
Because I thought that's what the very first
Oh,
yeah.
90,
Oh no, yeah,
95,
95-ish. 95-ish.
95 and
I thought I saw
96?
55-ish. Hey, I'm getting old.
Ha, I hear you.
I want to look those cards up now too.
I know. I mean, I just love learning about sets I didn't know existed, man. It's fun for me. The thing about I think like one of the things I don't particularly like about the hobby, the modern hobby, is that everybody seems to want to flex. It's
Yeah,
almost about the flex, So these card shows, because we live in the most affluent society of all time, and we live really like the people that are approaching retirement age now. They're the first group to really have 401ks, right? And so the people that are approaching retirement have a ton of money,
yeah,
and a lot of them are, you know, around our age, who have had 401ks their whole life. They're ready to retire. They have extra money, all kind
yeah.
of extra money.
You're
The
more
kids are out
secure
of the
now
house. They're in
retiring than you
college.
were secure retiring in the 70s for sure.
Yeah, so you see a lot of people going to the Strongsville show or the National or whatever show, and they're dropping 30 grand on cards like it's nothing. Um, and I just I don't like to spend money. Um, I like to save it all, invest it all. So I don't spend a fraction of what these guys spend on cards, not a fraction. And it works out well for me because I'm into the obscure, rare stuff that it's more about the chase, I guess. And
Yeah,
I love buying like the packaging for them. And I was fortunate enough, sports cards are like real estate. The sooner you start, the better off you are. Uh, so maybe you bought a home 10, 12, 15 years ago. You couldn't buy that home today. It's the same with cards. And so I, had 100,000 cards before the boom hit. So I was fortunate. I had a lot of cards I would never buy today. I wouldn't pay the prices today.
yeah. We got a question. What do we think is the best Don Newcomb card?
Oh man, he has a few nice ones.
Yeah,
I
the
would
Bowman, the
say
55 Bowman is nice. I like the 58 tops. He has a lot of good ones.
I'd say 51. I think is it the 51 Bowman where he's pitching?
The
I
small
think
one,
it I think it's a 51 Bowman is the one that I like. I think.
that's a small one, right? The 51.
Yeah, it's a sideways. The one I'm thinking of is a
Yeah,
sideways card. I think it's 51. I don't think, although his
yeah.
52
I
is
like
nice too.
Don Newcomb. He was out when I first started working at Dodger Stadium. He was there every day with his wife, and and I seen him get older. And right before he passed away, like he had arthritis, and you know, a lot of bobblehead collectors, like it was bobblehead night, and they were giving him the bobblehead for him to sign. But after signing like a couple, he said it was really hard for him, and his hands started hurting trying to sign like on the bobblehead head, and it said like he
Yeah,
couldn't do it. So his wife like canceled like a signing, saying he can't sign these bobbleheads. They hurt his hand. It's too small,
yeah,
And dude, I remember like all these people that were lying for autographs, like they were like bombing the wife, like, oh, she didn't want to let him sign. It's like, dude, he can't. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
man. Seriously, seriously. These are human beings. Sometimes we forget that.
Yeah.
Like
Ed
Johnny
Westenberg wants me
Unitas.
to
Johnny
show the
Unitas.
underwear.
Johnny
Yeah, it
Unitas.
hurts.
He hurt his arm bad, and he fought. He was trying to get the union, the NFL union. He felt like they should have, paid, given him support that uh, it was owed to him or whatever, and he lost. Like he didn't win that, so he didn't get any kind of disability or anything from the NFL. But he could barely move his arm, and it was kind of like this, and he would pick that pen up, like put it in here somehow, And man, what a trooper! He would sign autographs all the time like that. And
Yeah.
I always respected that. Like he went out of his way to sign those autographs, and he could barely, he could barely use his arm at the end.
All right, and Wesker Griff asked me if I could show my underwear from the
Your signed underwear.
yeah, and I don't know if that's Wesker Griff's autograph right there. I don't know, but right here we got that guy Neo. That guy Neo signed mine. This is like in 2018 or 19 before they were even big. This is Sports Car Live. That guy Jeremy Lin.
Oh yeah.
That's him. I think he still had hair when he signed this autograph. But yeah, that this was a lot of fun. I don't know if you know the story, but before I went to the National, I went with the intent of buy some boxers. I'm going to buy the biggest boxers I can get, so people can sign them. And boxers are more square and easy to sign. But they didn't have any packets like boxes for cheap. And so they had these tidy whities, like a set of 12, like a pack of 12 for like $10. So I was like, well, I'm just going to buy this set. It's 12 of them. And everywhere I went at the National, like everywhere we went to eat, every bar we went to, whenever we left, I left a pair of these on the table because I had like 11 extra pairs. So everywhere I went, like we go to a bar, at the end of the night, I put money in the glass, and then I put the underwear on top of it. So they'd have to. So everywhere I went, they had to pull out the underwear. I'm like, what the, probably like, what the hell is this?
You're crazy.
All right. Well, John, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for joining. My phone says that it's overheating. Yeah, that's why I keep touching it. But thanks for joining, man. Always great to talk cards, and hopefully we can talk again.
I hope so, Pepino. It's been a while. We used to do this a lot.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
Love the hobby. This is for collectors channel, man. So 2 collectors right here, me and John, signing out. Peace. Late.